G'day YouTube, Max right here, and here we are with Bitcoin trying to punch above $40,000. We've got some really interesting TA for you today. Plus, I'm going to share with you an indicator that if just one single indicator, if you just followed that, you would have outperformed the Bitcoin market handsomely, almost double. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the next kind of 2 weeks and think about, is this downtrend over? Is it time to pile into Bitcoin? We're going to find out all about that in this video. And yesterday, I just recorded an incredibly powerful interview with Eric Voorhees. In case you don't know him, huge old school gangster of Bitcoin. He first bought Bitcoin in 2011. He's a really, really big deal, an absolute thought leader in the space. And in that interview, he revealed his two best altcoin picks that he's super pumped about. So things that he thinks is probably a good chance of a 100x over the next couple of years. And so I highly, highly recommend, make sure you get that, you watch that video. I'm going to be releasing that in the next day or two. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And if you're part of the hit the like button before you even watch the video club, thank you so much. Go ahead and click that button for us. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into this now. So where do we want to start? All right, let's bring it down to we're on the daily, let's use that. Okay, so let's go to the BLX. And remember, a few months ago, I warned you that Bitcoin was out of control. It was just going too high, too fast. And I hypothesized that maybe this bull run is gonna look more like 2013 rather than 2017. In 2017, we had a pretty strong run up, and it was relatively smooth. There was lots of regular 30% pullbacks, like at least every month there's a 30% pullback. We went off at the beginning of this year where we went 3 months and there was no such thing. 15% pullbacks, yeah, but just nothing like that. And I warned maybe a big thing was coming and we were going to look more like 2013. So 2013 is on your screen right now. And you can see what happens in the price action here. Here we run up to a peak and then a crash of 85% before we head off. And then we head up. And over the course of this year, Bitcoin went up 100x, but it suffered an 85% drop right in the middle of it. Now, I wanted to go back and analyze this because as this year goes on, that was something I hypothesized before. Bitcoin was at $60,000 and it looked like all it could do was go north. When I made that video that said, just beware, there could be a big crash coming in Bitcoin. Now, maybe we finished that crash, maybe we haven't, I don't know, but we're at 55% so far, from 65,000 down to 30,000. It's been a hell of a ride. We may not be finished yet. We may be finished yet. We'll get to that in just a minute. But what I really wanted to look at is I wanted to go back in 2013. If it did look similar, what can we learn about that? And we have this big crash here. In this case, it happened fairly quickly. It happened from the 10th of April to the 16th of April. In 6 days, it was over and done with, this drop. It was brutal. $270 down to 46, okay? Monster drop all in 6 days. You thought you were scared this time. Whew, imagine living through that one. And then what happened is we had a strong bounce. That's worth noting. From that 48 or something up to 166. So more than a tripling, right? More than a tripling. But it did not go above the all-time high, but more than a tripling. And then it took several months of a slow downtrend. Several months of that slow downtrend. Went back down to 62, and then just slowly build over months. And then this is the part that I find really, really shocking. The last move, it didn't. So this crash happened in April, right? It got to 260. We did not breach 260. We did not get an all-time high until November 7th of that year when it hit there, right? At the beginning of October, it was at $100, right? And then by the end of December, actually not even, by the end of November, it hit $1,200. So in less than 30 days, we had a huge spike up here, a quadrupling from 210 to 1200. And if we want to include the previous month before that, it went from 100 to 1200. We're talking about a 12x captured just in the last 2 months of the year. But as a result of this big shock in the middle of this wave, it took months and months and months, over 6 months, to recover from that pain, from that misery. There was so much scar tissue in the marketplace that they didn't want to necessarily believe that there was anything more left in this. And of course, Bitcoin was so young, they really didn't have much evidence to support that there was going to be that kind of a thing. But the scar tissue from these big pullbacks can take a long time to hurt, because there were so many people. The 21-week moving average, that's our floor. We break below that, change psychology, we're in a bear market, it's over. Crypto winter here for several years. After that, 200-day moving average. That got broken, same story. And so you had a lot of people change their mind saying, crypto winter, it's over, it's done and dusted. Sorry, crypto summer is done and dusted, and it's over. And in order for them to flick back from that, what are the signs that they're going to need to see to go, okay, we're back? For some, it might be getting back above the 21-week moving average. For some, it might mean a new all-time high. So, for maybe a huge portion of the market, in order for them to believe that crypto summer is not over, they might need to see $60,000. But without those participants in the market, it might take months to get there. Okay? So I just wanted a word of caution that it could take a long time to repair from what we've seen so far in this in this quite painful last couple of months here in Bitcoin. All right, let's get back. We'll zoom in a little bit here onto the hourly and see, because Bitcoin has put in some pretty good news lately. Let's just get it up on the hourly here. So I'm on the hourly on Bitcoin, and you will see that Bitcoin has put in, it has not put in a higher high. Well, you can argue this is a higher guess. So yeah, higher high, but definitely a higher low, and then a higher high in the short term. You could say that this was a high, but I don't know. I think this feels like a more solid high. So let's go ahead and put the drawings back on. And again, I've said this several times over the last few weeks. This whole downtrend, Bitcoin has just been full, chock block, we'd say in Australia, full of fake outs, constantly giving reversal patterns, constantly breaking out above support. Like, here's a classic example, right? We came down and we found resistance here. Sorry, we found support here. We found resistance here. We came back down. It then set a higher high above this area that it broke down from, and then collapsed. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here. Okay, it appears as though we have a higher high, but higher high than this, but we just had a fake out recently about that. And if you go back, you can find more and more and more of these. We had this kind of fake out around here. Came back up, established a high, came back up. We thought it was testing resistance, ready to go through, and it collapsed back down. And so the fake outs in the last couple of months have just been a lot. It's been very, very hard to trade. But look, in the short term, I want to acknowledge that there is some positive news. This is looking a lot more bullish than when we were back here. What would make it look way more bullish for me? Let's get this tool. This band here between these two yellow bands, between 42 and 43,000, this band right here, I would love to see if the price continued to climb above there, close above there, come down, confirm as support, and bounce up again. That would be a very, very strong sign for Bitcoin. And you can still get in at, here, it's like right now, it's at 39. But if we did that and climbed above here, came back and confirmed this at 42, 43, and bounced back off, that would be, who cares if I get in at 39 or 42? Not me. I don't care at all where I get in. But you would have so much less risk to wait until then to get in, because we climb up over here, and it just confirms that we didn't, not just this peak, but we superseded this peak. We set in a high above this, and that would just give it a lot more confidence. It would de-risk the long Bitcoin trade significantly if that were to happen. But I do want to bring in, I want to introduce to you here let's go back to daily. I want to talk a little bit about the stochastic RSI. Let's talk about that. So here we are. I've prepared this for you. No. Let's get me in here. I've prepared this for you, the stochastic RSI. The stochastic RSI is a momentum oscillator. And what it means, and I'll even throw another word in there, it's an early warning momentum oscillator. And the way it works is, I've spoken about it a little bit the last few weeks. When the oscillator goes outside of the purple range, right, it goes to the very bottom or the very top, and then crosses back into the purple area, that is an indicator that the trend is reversing. And you can do it on different time frames, but we're on the daily right now. And on the daily time frame, it's kind of giving you kind of a medium-term trend oscillator. It's giving you a heads up that the trend is reversing. What I've gone ahead and done here with all these call-outs is I've just gone, whenever that signal fires, i.e. when we cross into the black, I don't care. But when we cross from the black into the purple, when we do it this way, that is a sell signal. So we did it here, so I've put this call out here at 56,000 right here, right in the middle of that candle. That was when we got the stochastic RSI to flip and go from the black into here. When we go from the bottom black into the purple, I've got a call out there, and I've put that green. And so if we just blindly did this, just all we did was sell when we went from the top black into the purple, and buy when we went from the bottom black into the purple, you would have all of these buys and sells right here. And I've gone ahead and put that on a spreadsheet for you. If we just bought and hold at this very first one, if we come back here, 15,500, it's way back in November of 2020. If we just buy and hold, let's just say with a starting capital of $100,000, if we just buy and hold, we end up with 6.42 Bitcoin, and we just hold that. If we just follow that stochastic RSI, don't look at anything else, completely emotionless, just be a robot, on the day that blue line especially, when that blue line crosses into purple, and we buy, and when the blue line crosses into purple from the top, we sell, you get this trading pattern right here. We're buying at this price, we're selling at this price, buying at this price, selling at this price. And because it is an early indicator, what happens is you miss the big moves and you get all the small moves. And so there's only one trade where it turned out not so good, and I'll show it to you. But you can see every time the amount of Bitcoin we have. And so what this spreadsheet does, if you sell all your Bitcoin, put it into cash, then when the signal says to buy, you put all that cash back into Bitcoin. What it does is you start accumulating. You accumulate Bitcoin, you go from 6.42, the next time it goes to 6.53. There's only one time it goes backwards, and I'll show you that on the chart. It goes down, you would only be able to buy 4.8 Bitcoin here on the next purchase. And then you get it starts growing again. 5.4, 5.9, 6.7, and eventually you get this huge step up to 10.52. Now remember I said what happens is, because this is an early indicator, you miss the big moves. Where the really big step up, where it came well, is that the stochastic RSI right here told us to sell at 56,940. Right here, it crossed into the purple. Okay, you can maybe even make the argument here, but it was exactly the same price, 56,900. Either way, you're selling at 56,900, and we didn't get the signal to buy until way back here. I mean, you could argue here at 36, or you could even argue better back here. It's about 36 too. And that was the big step up. We sold at 56 and we bought in at 36. We went from having 5 Bitcoin to having 10 Bitcoin. And at the end of the result, you can come back here and check it out. You know, we ended up with 10.5 Bitcoin instead of 6.5. You know, it's an extra 4 Bitcoin. Pretty big deal. But the big move that we missed, worth taking a look at, is this one. We got a buy signal right here as we crossed into here, and we got 18,000. So we bought Bitcoin at 18,000, and it kind of came back down. And remember, this is not, when we leave purple going to black, that is not a sell signal. The sell signal is when we go from the top black into the purple. So we bought here and we did not get a sell signal. It came back out and we got another sell signal. So we've got this one here. It's like a double buy, but that's okay. We don't have any cash with which to buy Bitcoin because we're all in Bitcoin because we got the buy signal back here. So I can remove that one for you. And then we go up here and then we come back down and we sell at this point. When we go back in and we get the signal to sell at 23. Unfortunately for us in this hypothetical, Bitcoin has on a massive move and we got another sell signal over here at 39. But unfortunately, we don't have any Bitcoin to sell because we sold it all the way back here at 23. So we missed that big move. The indicator was a good one for us about when to get back in. It told us when to get in at the bottom, but the bottom was 31. So we sold at 23 and we got back in at 31. Is that right? Yeah, we got back in at 31. That's here. And it's that move, we sold at 23, got back in at 31, and our Bitcoin holdings went down to 4.8. And even without this big move, we were up to 6.76. So we were above the 6.42 that we started with, and we got to 6.76. But because this is an early momentum indicator, it got us out early in this last big fall. And then it just fired. I'm bringing all this to your attention because it just told us, it just fired, hey, we're going from the lower black into purple, go ahead and buy Bitcoin here at 36,000. And that was the big step up. We sold at 56, got back in at 36, and that was a huge step up. We ended up with 10 Bitcoin. So we missed this huge downtrend brilliantly, but we missed the big uptrend earlier in the year. But we still ended up nearly doubling our Bitcoin just by following the stochastic RSI. So it's a pretty big deal. I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that it did just cross over. In addition to that, I'll bring these drawings back. On this chart here, no, it was already there. We are just days away from this, this blue line right here. So again, for those of you who don't recall, that's the last day of the month. Futures and options expire. Very often, within a few days of that, we get our lows. The low is put in. So we have a fair few things to say that perhaps it's going to be a pretty good next couple of weeks. Traditionally, after this date, this vertical blue line, the last Friday of the month, the next week or two especially are really good weeks. And so, you know, we've got the stochastic RSI just crossed north saying the trend is reversed. We've got the last Friday of the month just days away now, just 2 days away. And we've got that 2013 reference. There was quite a big bounce up to, I think it got back up to 160. So it got down to 40, went up to 160 before it ultimately came down. I think the next low was 60 if my memory serves. So there's a few things to suggest that we want to get into Bitcoin. But like I said at the beginning, there's reasons to be extra cautious. There are definitely reasons to be extra cautious because we've had lots and lots of fake outs with Bitcoin. And we do have this pretty important resistance area up here at around the 42, 43 mark. And so I don't know if I'm open. I don't know at 39, because I'm probably going to take profits at 42. I don't know at 39. Let's get back to the hourly. But I think if we did come back down one more time, like we are now, this is the hourly on Bitcoin, yeah. And so, yeah, while I've been talking, I've been talking here for like 20 minutes. and the price has come down quite significantly. Well, from 39.3 down to 38.5. Okay, it's just $300. We did get up to 47. Now this pullback is quite nice. And we can see here we've got some important resistance here where it's kind of bottoming out at the moment. I don't know. If it turned around and bounced off this and started heading up, I might go in for a short-term trade looking to get out at maybe 42 with a very, very tight stop loss. I'd wait for it to bounce, looking for momentum up and looking for that reversal there. But here it is, keeps going lower. See, if this went lower, and it would be better. The most ideal situation would be it would come down quite significantly in time for the end of month. Maybe even the stochastic would come back down and turn back on the daily and turn back around. But that might be an interesting trade. But all in all, it's a little bit wishy-washy. I'm going to sit back and be patient on this one. Check out what's happening tomorrow. See if we can come back down further. And yeah, that would be it. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the stochastic RSI? Pretty interesting that you could have just blindly followed this one single indicator. Usually, one single indicator is not a very reliable source. You're looking for multiple indicators to create confirmation of some kind of a trend change. But just the stochastic RSI, if you followed it blindly for the last 6 or 7 months, you would be up nearly double your Bitcoin. So a really, really cool indicator, something to watch. Understand that it is an early indicator, and sometimes it gets out of the gates and fires too soon, and the problem is you miss big moves. The good side is, as what happened in the last couple of months, you miss big moves. So let me know in the comments below, are you going to be following the stochastic RSI more in the future? Is that something you're going to pay attention to? And make sure, I think it's going to be tomorrow, unless there's some drastic thing in the market that it requires my attention. I'm probably going to release that Eric Voorhees interview, where he reveals his 2 favorite coins for the next couple of years. The most exciting coins, the most exciting altcoins for the next couple of years. So, guys, hope that's helpful. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Oh, one more thing, the last couple of days, I have been doing a second video in the day, which I have not mailed out for. So if you're on the mailing list, I think 2 emails a day is too much. So I have not been emailing that, but I've been doing a second video each day. It's just news. So it's not technical analysis. It's just news. It's an update on what happened in the news cycle of Bitcoin. And I've noticed that I think it's too much to email you guys twice a day. So if that's the case, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're only subscribed via email, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel or the BitChute channel. All the content is duplicated there as well. And if you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, you're massively missing out. Go down below in the description of this video. You'll see a link to join to the newsletter. That's really, really important. You want to get yourself in there. And that's where I do really cool special offers for my paid products and other things like that. You'll notice I hardly ever promote my paid product here on YouTube. I just don't. But every now and again via email, I do. And you can get in and become a member of Success Council. Get some really cool stuff in there too. So make sure you join that newsletter below. Okay, guys, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.